We're reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antya-lila, Volume 5, which is nice that the pastimes that we're reading is the pastimes of the Lord in Jagannath Puri, and we'll have many devotees in Jagannath Puri at the minute following the footsteps of the Lord, and devotees there visiting all the holy places, and so it's nice we're in sync with them. Okay, chapter 18, Rescuing the Lord from the Sea. A summary, I'm not going to read that bit. Text 1. In the brilliant autumn moonlight, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mistook the sea for the river Jamuna. Greatly afflicted by separation from Krishna, he ran and dove into the sea and remained unconscious in the water the entire night. In the morning, he was found by his personal devotees. May that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the son of Mother Sachi, protect us by his transcendental pastimes. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Nityananda Prabhu, all glories to Advaita Acharya, all glories to all the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. While thus living at Jagannath Puri, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu floated all day and night in an ocean of separation from Krishna. During a night of the autumn season, when a full moon brightened everything, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wandered all night long with his devotees. He walked from garden to garden, seeing the pastimes of Lord Krishna and hearing and reciting songs and verses concerning the Rasa Leela. Madhu, can you shut the door? It's a little bit cold. Can you feel it or not? Yeah. Sorry. He sang and danced in ecstatic love and sometimes imitated the rasa dance in emotional ecstasy. When he heard Swarup Damodar recite a verse concerning the Rasa Leela, or he himself recited one, he would personally explain it as he had previously done. In this way, he explained the meaning of all the verses concerning the Rasa Leela. Sometimes he would be very sad and sometimes very happy. To explain fully all these verses and all the transformations that took place in the Lord's body would require a very large volume. So, as not to increase the size of this book, I have not written about all the Lord's pastimes, for he performed them every moment of every day for 12 years. As I've previously indicated, I am describing the mad speeches and bodily transformations of the Lord only in brief. If Ananta, with his 1,000 hoods, tried to describe every one day's pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he would find them impossible to describe fully. If Ganesh, Lord Shiva's son, and the expert scribe of the demigods, tried for millions of millenniums to fully describe one day of the Lord's pastimes, he would be unable to find their limit. Even Lord Krishna is struck with wonder at seeing the transformations of ecstasy in his devotees. If Krishna himself cannot estimate the limits of such emotions, how could others? Krishna himself cannot fully understand the conditions, the mode of progress, the happiness and unhappiness, and the modes of ecstatic love of his devotees. He therefore accepts the role of a devotee to taste these emotions fully. Ecstatic love of Krishna makes Krishna and his devotees dance, and it also dances personally. In this way, all three dances join together as in one place. One who wants to describe the transformations of ecstatic love of Krishna is like a dwarf trying to catch the moon in the sky. As the wind can carry away but a drop of the water in the ocean, a living entity can touch only a particle of the ocean of love of Krishna. Endless waves arise moment after moment in that ocean of love. How could an insignificant living entity estimate their limits? Only a person on the level of Swarup Damodar Goswami can fully know what Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tastes in his love for Krishna. When an ordinary living entity describes the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he purifies himself by touching one drop of that great ocean. Thus, all the verses about the Rasa Leela were recited. Then finally, the verse concerning the pastimes in the water was recited. As an independent leader among elephants enters the water with its female elephants, Krishna, who is transcendental to the Vedic principles of morality, entered the water of the Jamuna with the gopis. His chest had brushed against their breasts, crushing his flower garland and colouring it with red kumkum powder. Attracted by the fragrance of that garland, humming bumblebees followed Krishna like celestial beings of Gandharva Loka. In this way, the Lord mitigated the fatigue of the rasa dance. This verse is from the Srimad Bhagavatam 10:33-23. While thus wandering near the temple of I don't know how to pronounce that one, Aitota, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu suddenly saw the sea. Brightened by the shining light of the moon, the high waves of the sea glinted like the waters of the river Jamuna. Mistaking the sea for the Jamuna, the Lord ran swiftly and jumped into this water, unseen by the others. Falling into the sea, he lost consciousness and could not understand where he was. Sometimes he sank beneath the waves and sometimes he floated above them. The waves carried him here and there like a piece of dry wood. Who can understand this dramatic performance by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Keeping the Lord sometimes submerged and sometimes afloat, the waves carried him towards the Konarka temple. Lord Krishna performed pastimes with the gopis in the water of the Jamuna, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu fully merged in those pastimes. Meanwhile, all the devotees headed by Swarup Damodar lost sight of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Astonished, they began searching for him, asking, "Where has the Lord gone?" Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had run off at the speed of wind. No one could see him, thus everyone was puzzled to his whereabouts. Has the Lord gone to the temple of Jagannath, or has he fallen down in madness in some garden? Perhaps he went to the Gundicha temple, or to Lake Narendra, or to the Chatak Parvat. Maybe he went to the temple at Konarka. Talking like this, the devotees wandered here and there looking for the Lord. Finally, they came to the shore, accompanied by many others. While they were searching for the Lord, the night ended, and thus they all decided, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has now disappeared. In separation from the Lord, everyone felt as though he had lost his very life. They concluded that there must be some mishap. They could not think of anything else. A relative or intimate friend is always fearful of some injury to his beloved. When they arrived at the seashore, they conferred among themselves. Then some of them sought out Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Chatak Parvat. Swarup Damodar proceeded east with others, looking for the Lord on the beach or in the water. Everyone was overwhelmed with moroseness and almost unconscious, but out of ecstatic love they continued to wander here and there, searching for the Lord. Passing along the beach, they saw a fisherman approaching with his net over his shoulder. Laughing, crying, dancing and singing, he kept repeating the holy name, Hari, Hari. Seeing the activities of the fisherman, everyone was astonished. Swarup Damodar Goswami therefore asked him for information. "My dear fisherman," he said, "why are you behaving like this? Have you seen someone hereabouts? What is the cause of your behavior? Please tell us." The fisherman replied, "I have not seen a single person here, but while casting my net, I captured a dead body. I lifted it with great care, thinking it a big fish, but as soon as I saw that it was a corpse, great fear arose in my mind. As I tried to release the net, I touched the body, and as soon as I touched it, a ghost entered my heart. I shivered in fear and shed tears, my voice faltered, and all the hairs on my body stood up. I do not know whether it was the ghost of a dead Brahmin or an ordinary man, but as soon as one looks upon it, it enters his body. The body of this ghost is very long, 5 to 7 cubits. Each of its arms and legs is as much as 3 cubits long." Cubit measure. Its joints are all separated beneath the skin, which is completely slack. No one could see it and remain alive in his body. That ghost has taken the form of a corpse, but he keeps his eyes open. Sometimes he utters sounds, gone, gone, and sometimes he remains unconscious. I've seen that ghost directly and he's haunting me, but if I die, who will take care of my wife and children? The ghost is certainly very difficult to talk about, but I'm going to find an exorcist and ask him if he can release it from me. I wander alone at night, killing fish in solitary places, but because I remember the hymn to Lord Nrsimha, ghosts do not touch me. This ghost, however, overcomes me with redoubled strength when I chant the Nrsimha mantra. When I even see the form of this ghost, great fear arises in my mind. Do not go near, I forbid you. If you go, that ghost will catch you all. Hearing this, Swarup Damodar could understand the full truth of the matter. He spoke sweetly to the fisherman. I am a favourite exorcist, he said. I know how to rid you of this ghost. He then chanted some mantras and placed his hand on top of the fisherman's head. He slapped the fisherman 3 times and said, Now the ghost has gone. Do not be afraid. By saying this, he pacified the fisherman. The fisherman was affected by ecstatic love, but he was also fearful. He had thus become doubly agitated. Now that his fear had subdued, however, he became somewhat normal. Swarup Damodar said to the fisherman, My dear sir, this person who you're thinking is a ghost is not actually a ghost, but the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because of ecstatic love, the Lord fell into the sea, and you have caught him in your net and rescued him. Simply touching him has awakened your dormant love of Krishna, but because you thought him a ghost, you were very much afraid of him. Now that your fear has gone, your mind is peaceful. Please show me where he is. The fisherman replied, I have seen the Lord many times, but this is not he. The body is very deformed. Swarup Damodar said, the Lord's body becomes transformed in his love for God. Sometimes the joints of his body, of his bones, separate, and his body becomes very elongated. Hearing this, the fisherman was very happy. He brought all the devotees with him, showed them the body of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Lord was lying on the ground, his body elongated and bleached white by the water. He was covered from head to foot with sand. The Lord's body was stretched and his skin was slack and hanging loose. To lift him, to take him the long distance home would have been impossible. The devotees removed his wet undergarment and replaced it with a dry one. Then, laying the Lord on an outer cloth, they cleaned the sand from his body. They all performed Sankirtan, loudly chanting the holy name of Krishna into the Lord's ear. After some time, the sound of the holy name entered the ear of the Lord, who immediately got up, making a great noise. As soon as he got up, his bones assumed their proper place. With half external consciousness, the Lord looked here and there. The Lord remains in one of 3 different states of consciousness at all time: internal, external, and half external. When the Lord is deeply absorbed in internal consciousness, but he nevertheless exhibits some external consciousness, devotees call his condition Ardha Bhaya, or half external consciousness. In this half external consciousness, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu talked like a madman. The devotees could distinctly hear him speaking to the sky. Seeing the river Jamuna, he said, I went to Vrindavan. There I saw the son of Nanda Maharaj performing his sporting pastimes in the water. Lord Krishna was in the water of the Jamuna in the company of the gopis, headed by Srimati Radharani. They were performing pastimes in a great sporting manner. I saw these pastimes as I stood on the bank of the Jamuna in the company of the gopis. One gopi was showing me some other gopis' pastimes of Radha and Krishna in the water. So it's actually quite a long chapter. So we'll stop there. So I'm feeling a bit dizzy, and we'll continue tomorrow. The Lord is on the beach in Jagannath Puri. So we'll read a bit from here. Sermons of the Guardian Devotion, Volume 2, sort of Gromage. Let's see how long it is. Sorry. I don't know how long I'm going to get through this. Oh, here's a very short chapter. I couldn't just do a short chapter because I... Okay, chapter 12, Earnestness. If you kindly remove my blindness for a moment, I would like to see that great noble figure of yours that others have not seen. Okay, let's start that all again. If you kindly remove my blindness for a moment, I would like to see that great noble figure of yours that others have seen. No, it is not necessary for your blindness to be removed. If I just say see, then you will see me. By his will, by his order, Dhritarashtra saw without his blindness being removed. Yes, being blind, you can see me. Despite being blind, he could see. So what sort of sight is he? He can be seen only by his order. So neither eyes nor our mental preparation backing the eye are indispensable to see him. He ordered Dhritarashtra, see me, and he could see, without eyes or without the mentality of sight. Dhritarashtra was Janmanda, blind from birth. He had no idea of any colour or figure, but still he could see by the Lord's order. His position is such, so if we try to approach him, what should our attitude be? How much earnestness should we have to approach that land? It's easy, it is difficult. Easy because it is our inborn tendency. It is home, but now we are far from home. It is home, my own, so there is hope that I may reach there one day. It is my home and I won't find satisfaction anywhere else, so I must go there. But I am far away from that home comfort. There is the difficulty. I have lost that land. Scholarship is poison. Are you ready to admit this? All your learning is nonsense. You are plodding in the mud. All knowledge of misrepresentation. Not a bag full of money, but a bag full of rocks. The brain is taxed and filled with all misleading things. Are you ready to admit this? Not so soon. What do you say? Most of us boast of our knowledge, but the Bhakti school is striking a hammer on the head of knowledge of Jnana. Rather, ignorance is better than knowledge. Can you accept that? Knowledge is more dangerous than ignorance. Why? Because the so-called learned are proud by comparison. They are more confident that they are holding a higher position, and to remove them from that position is very difficult. Qualitatively, they are in a position above the ordinary labourer, so they are confident of their superiority. So to relieve them of that proud superiority is more difficult than to relieve an ordinary labourer of his ignorance. That would be easy. It is easy to educate an uneducated person, but to educate an educated person is more difficult. He has firmly entrenched himself in his superiority, so he won't budge an inch from that position. The company of ordinary persons, misguided souls in the ordinary street, is somewhat better than the company and influence of the so-called scholars. That sort of subtle poison is very dangerous and difficult to remove. They are proud, thinking, I know, I hold a higher position than the ordinary masses. That sort of fine ego is very difficult to remove. Ordinary persons may think, yes, we are culprits. Also, the ego of the ordinary religious men is very difficult to remove. Oh, I am a religious man. It is very difficult to cross his so-called faith and religion to give him something higher. This is the practical experience, and it is also advised in Sastra. Half-truth is more dangerous than falsehood. As in Sankara's Mayavadi, there is atheism in the garb of theism. They say so hum, I am the highest substance. They take the authority of the law as non-differentiated, like zero. It cannot assert. Therefore they cannot admit, I am among the creation. They imagine it is possible for them to hold the highest position. There is no God. There is no such thing as God who automatically holds the highest position and all that be, because ultimately there is no region of unknown and unknowable substance. And wherever there is enlightenment as a human, a wise man, he holds the highest position. We hold the highest position, but if we have to admit God, then we have nothing. If we are his created objects, play dolls, we have nothing. As soon as we have admitted God, then we are dispossessed of everything. So much renunciation is possible. To hold that I am the absolute authority means that I am nowhere. Such self-abnegation is not so cheap. Any questions? Devotee. What can help an intellectual to develop sastric scriptural vision? Srila Guru Maharaj. When the sleeping aspect will be awakened, the cover will vanish automatically. Intellectualism cannot be utilized, but that real causeless eternal wealth within should be awakened and strengthened. And this cover of proud intellectualism will evaporate. Karma and jnana are only foreign covers. If someone, with the help of the scriptures and his agents, the devotees or saints, can develop our devotion, bhakti, then the proper knowledge and proper apathy towards worldly substances will follow us. Healthy, proper knowledge and healthy energy will come to follow us if the reality within awakens and we become adjusted by it. This doesn't refer to knowledge or energy found in this plane. This is entirely distinct. Energy is the capacity to work, to move, and knowledge is to have a conception. That will come in the retinue of devotion. Sambandha Gyan. What is what? A new world will awaken within us. Misleading ideas will evaporate and retire, and the proper reading will evolve from within. Sambandha Gyan. I am such and such to my Lord, and these are the Lord's friends, the Lord's lovers, etc. And what sort of knowledge and movement should be mine in this new environment? In that way, adjustment will come from within. The present type of knowledge and energizing will have to retire and be dispelled like darkness. Conceptions may be utilized only when proper conception awakens. When the professor will point out our misconceptions, we can learn the proper conception. In this way, you are misconceiving things. Your proper conception is this. But did you misconceive this thing for that? Yes, sir, I thought like that. Now I see the real thing is this. This is not mine, not to speak of mine. I also belong to Krishna, my Lord. Everyone belongs to him. I'm not a master. I am a slave. I do not hold the position of a master, not to speak of possessing so many properties. Even I am property to another possessor. The calculation must begin from that plane, and a new land will be found. That aspiration and aggression to think one can conquer the whole world by the atomic energy is a false notion. It is suffering human intellect to think one has a position to challenge God. God is only a superstition, an imagination thing. We need all this wholesale and radical cure. I do not belong to me. I have my eternal master. We need slave mentality. During the time of my Guru Maharaj's preaching, one newspaper in Calcutta complained, Gaudiya Math is spreading slave mentality to the country. This is most objectionable. This will destroy the military spirit of the land. So they can't be encouraged to spread slavery. They have no patriotism. What are they? The atheists cannot tolerate the call to come hither and live in Vaikuntha. They cannot tolerate the spreading of this poison within the country. And they hold that in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna supported war, but that was not from their standpoint. Yada yada hi dharmasya. The Lord said, sometimes the world is so thickly attracted by the atheistic influence that I have to come down again to re-establish the religious environment here. The enemies are vanquished and the good thinkers are given certain relief. In their lives, I have to come. Jai, that's very sweet. I've never read that chapter before. Jai, Sermons of the Guardian of Devotion. Jai. Srila Bhakti Rakshat Srilada Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswati ki Jai. Go Premanandi Hari Hari Go. Okay, we'll just have a rewrite when we're finished. Hariharaya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudana Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohana Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Radha Sri Vasadi Koda Bhakta Vrinda Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunatha Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha Jai Gosai Kori Charana Bandana Yaha Hoite Vignana Savisa Purana Jai Gosai Muritana Dasa Ansabada Pada Puna Panchagasa Andira Charane Sebe Bhakta Sanibasa Janame Mo E Abhilasa Jai Gosai Abe Praja Kolabasa Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Kodela Prakasa Anande Boro Hari Praja Vindavana Sri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majariya Mana Sri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyasa Harinam Sankirtana Kore Narottama Dasa Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Jai Guru Haribo, 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 Haribo. Jai Spadagasi Guru Goranga Sundavada Giri Hari Juki Jai, Jai Vishnuparabhama Hamsa Prabhupada Samapati. Sundagovinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, Jai Vishnuparabhama Hamsa Prabhupada Srimad Bhakti Ratchat Siddha Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, Jai Vishnuparabhama Hamsa Prabhupada Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai, Jai Vishnuparabhama Hamsa Prabhupada Srimad Bhakti Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Ki Jai, Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Matacharya Vrinda Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Sri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Sri Purushottam Dham, Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai, Sri Navadip Dham Ki Jai, all the universal devotees Ki Jai, Jai Guru Premanandi Hari. Oh, and the appearance day Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardhan Maharaj Ki Jai. We love you, Maharaj. Jai.